Hi. So a couple of days ago, I saw this recipe for oven fried ribs on my baby sister's Facebook page. And it's not her recipe, but it's one she shared. And it looked so delicious that I wanted to try to prepare it. Now, I'm not doing this live because I don't want anybody laughing at me if I mess up. I picked up my ribs yesterday and I had about everything else here to prepare these ribs with. And I will admit, I've never taken that membrane off the back of the rib cage, and I kind of fought with that a little bit, but I got it done. So that was something I learned from watching this recipe. But I've placed my wax paper down, I've cleaned my ribs, I've taken that membrane part off the back of them. I have all my seasonings out, my bowl for my flour. And let's go ahead and try this recipe. Okay, so I'm going to set the phone down just for a minute. There are my ribs all clean, sitting on the wax paper. And I do buy Duke's mayonnaise, but I did not buy Duke's mayonnaise for doing these ribs. I just got the Great Value brand. So we're gonna give this a try. Gonna get me some more wax paper out here. I'm just using the cut rate wax paper to have a nice sterile surface to do this preparation. Like I said, I have my flour and I have my seasonings. I got the seasonal and the onion powder, garlic powder, and everything that I prepare now, because I have such a severe case of arthritis, psoriatic arthritis. I always use turmeric. So whether it's chicken, beef, fish, whatever, you can tell it's about time to buy some more. I use this quite often in cooking because it's supposed to be a great seasoning for individuals that have arthritis. And of course I have my pepper. And I also like to add Sazon to everything that, all my meat dishes. So I'm gonna try that on the ribs as well. So let's get right into it. My hands are clean. I've already washed my hands. I decided to not use a cookie sheet in the recipe the young lady shared. She had a cookie sheet that she had oil on. I am choosing to use a dish that has sides on it, and I'm using the non-stick Reynolds wrap paper. So we're going to use this instead. I don't care for cooking with a lot of oil or lard. I prefer real butter, but this is not something to prepare with butter. Okay, so I know she said put an apron on. I don't own a kitchen apron. Hint, hint, Christmas gift. So we're gonna go ahead and start slathering these ribs down in a mayonnaise base. And I'm just using my spatula and dipping it out, rubbing it on. My oven is preheating at 350, and the instructions in the video said to preheat your oven 350, and after you season mayonnaise down and then season the ribs, you place them in the oven for 1 hour on 350. You take them out, turn them over, and turn the temperature up to 375. I gotta admit, I've never put mayonnaise on anything to oven fry. Usually it's something that's already a seasoning that's already pre-done for me, and I'll buy it and put something in the oven that way. But this is my very first doing this with a mayo base and then seasoning. Oh, there is one thing I wanted to do, because my slab of ribs will not fit that pan that I have. I am going to go ahead and cut these ribs in half. Let me show you that one side. Now that's the side that the bones are on and that I pull that membrane off of. So that's my mayonnaise on that side. And I bought this jar just for this recipe. So I'm not gonna reuse this mayo. I will throw whatever is not used away. That's why I am dipping my spatula back into it. I only use Duke mayonnaise in my sandwiches and deviled eggs and so forth. So this is not something that I am going to use after this preparation. This will get thrown away, whatever may be left in there. But I got a small jar of it because I was hoping I pretty much used the whole thing. And it looks like I'd be pretty close. But anyway, there again, yes, I am placing my spatula after it touching this raw meat back in and dipping, but I'm throwing this away. I am not reusing this mayo. It's not a brand that I would do anything with or use for any other purpose. So, and I didn't want to risk buying my Dukes and then this not turn out right, and I'd really be hurt that I've spent the money on not only the ribs. Ribs weren't so bad. They were $8 for this size portion, which isn't too bad. Usually you can easily spend about $20 on a slab of ribs. But I looked up and found these ribs, and these are also pork ribs. I'm not a major fan of pork ribs. I prefer beef, but my doctor has been having a heart-to-heart chat with me about my eating habits, and he said for as well as I seem to be doing, I need to do better. So I'm trying to shift away from a lot of the beef and stick with the chicken and fish. But I decided that those ribs on that recipe look so good, I was going to try it. So I picked up these pork ribs and this store brand of mayo. So let me rinse my spatula off. Forgive the sound of the water. I'm going to place this in the dishwasher. Excuse that sound. And as I said, this mayo is going to go in the trash. Let me just set it there for a moment because I want to make sure I have all the sides done. And yeah, I'm pretty confident I do. So, excuse my hand. This is the ribs slathered down. I hope you can see that. I'm not There we go. So now we're going to take our flour and add seasoning. Now the lady on the video did not say how much seasoning I needed to put in the flour, but I presume that quite liberal, is that the right word? Amount of seasoning needs to go in here. My sons, Robert and Kevin, and especially Kevin, always told me that I never use enough seasoning. Mom, we can't taste any of the seasoning. Need to add more seasoning. So I stopped seasoning things sparingly and started really dishing it out and putting it in the foods that I prepare. I hope I don't start sneezing. Here comes the pepper. Oh, kind of hard to open that, and I don't have any nails. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Let me get a fork, stir this up a little bit. That's, I don't know if you can really see that, but stir those seasonings up in there. Oh, and I need to get my knife so I can cut my ribs in half, since my pan does not accommodate this long slab of ribs. So let's see, we're gonna cut it hopefully right about there. All right, use this fork to hold that. There we go. I believe that's cut. Yeah, that's a good knife there. So I'll put this in the dishwasher. And now comes, I guess, what they call the messy part. Bring my pan closer, put my flour up. And she did not show on the video how she actually got the seasoning onto the ribs. And it makes no sense to me to take this part of ribs and dump it in here, because then it's just going to get caked up in one area. So what I'm going to try and do is sprinkle this over evenly. Remember, my ribs are sitting on the wax paper. And I'm actually going to just, because I hear my boy's voice, I am going to add more seasoning. The seasonal, that's what I'm using here, seasonal. I'm going to add that. And then sprinkle a bit more flour here. Making sure it gets on the sides. Okay. And then we're going to turn this. And I think I'm going to put a little flour base here so I don't lose all my flour. Add a little bit more seasoning. Sprinkle with flour. Oh, let's hope this comes out. I just don't get the part where it's going to really oven fry, but I guess that's what that mayonnaise does, so we'll see. But here we go. All right. We got it all seasoned up. I'm going to put this slab in the pan. Move on to this one. Add some more seasoning. I'm going to have to wash my seasoning shaker because I have a little mayo on my hand. I'm picking that up. And we're going to sprinkle more flour. I sure hope this turns out the way it did on her video. I just don't know about this. And I don't know how I can do something else with it after it's been in the oven and been prepared, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so there's the other half. And I'm gonna put this in the pan. Excuse me while I wash my hands. I don't have a pause button there. It'd be nice if Apple came out with that, and I think I might suggest that to them. And we can do videos, pause what you're doing on the video, and then come back to it. But I don't think I want to touch my phone with this mayonnaise flour stuff all over. But now I can just roll this up and I have a lot less mess to clean up. I'll put that in the trash here in just a minute. Let me go ahead and get some of this stuff up while I'm thinking about it. There we go. I'll finish wiping that down and cleaning it up. But there is that. So I gotta pause anyway.